From a technique standpoint, would you say that's about as well as the defense has played since you've been here Saturday, or how would you grade the group?
I thought it was a solid performance. Again, anytime you're playing 83 guys, it's you're bound to have some things that you need to improve at. And but I liked how hard our guys played. Thought they competed, had great focus, great energy, were physical. All the guys that got out there, from the first team guys to the third and fourth team guys as well. So really pleased with the effort and the focus as much as anything. And then again, because of that, I thought we played well as a result. I was pleased with our corners. Thought they played well, had good positioning, were physical. That was very encouraging. A couple of pick sixes, obviously. That's guys being sure of themselves, and a bunch of guys doing what you hope they would do under those circumstances, and blocking people and finding somebody to get in the way of. But really physical in the run game. It's a team that forces you to play with a great deal of discipline, with a variety of formations and motions and shifts, and a lot of gap exchange responsibility. So I thought our guys handled those things for the most part really well.
And you knew that they were going to want to run the football, but I think it was 1.9 yards per carry. I think that's what they ended up with.
Yeah, again, thought our guys. I thought South Carolina State's well coached up front. They've got a good-looking football team. I thought their backs really ran downhill very hard, and kind of stresses you a little bit structurally. And again, our guys, again, for the most part, really, matched the physicality and the precision that's required, and consistently stop. And they're a very persistent team, as you will know. And again, I thought our guys were very pleased with the discipline that we showed.
Brent, 2 games in, what are you most encouraged about? Some of the things relative sort of to last year?
The biggest thing is just, you can do got a lot more flexibility in some things that you can do, whether you want to change a front or you're moving guys. Both the run and play action pressures, those opportunities are there without worrying about how we're going to fit it and adjust it and things of that nature. So again, the front 7 and the cohesion there, the depth that's there, that's probably the most pleasing. And I think our guys are playing with great effort and are being physical in our first 2 games. I like our attitude.
Anything you're looking to improve?
Yeah, everything. Everything.
Well, any concern areas right now?
Again, we still, depth issues, and we're going to be stressed in a lot of different ways throughout the year. A lot of good quarterbacks and good offenses that we're going to see. And so we just got to improve in a lot of areas. Our pressure's got to improve. Our coverage has got to improve, both on our underneath and in our back end behind. Got to continue to improve our disguise and communication on the field, pad level across the board. So a lot of things that we can improve at, and obviously, eliminating, big play touchdowns. It's one thing, people are going to get some big plays, but we got to get people down on the ground. So.
When you go back and look at the tape, you played a lot of young guys. Is there anybody in particular that stood out to you among those young guys you played side?
Not really. Thought as a group, the young guys came in, and guys that hadn't played a great deal came in and performed pretty well.
What's your take on the backup safeties right now? 2 games in, those guys, I guess. Not as far along as you want, but not that far away either. So try to overload and give them what they can handle. I thought they came in and did pretty well. And, we didn't get Breland reps at safety, but no need for him to expose himself to injury and those things. He knows what to do, and he's looked good when we've done it in practice, and he's another option there as well.
So those guys are improving, and at some point in time this season, that depth's going to be tested.
You know, at cornerback beyond those front four, I mean, where's Marcus Edmond at? Because I know he was mentioned as.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you got 4 and you're solid at 4 and there's no injuries at 4, you'd like to feel like you can get by without having to play him. In fairness to him, before he could get out there and play and probably perform, pretty good. Would he be better than those 4? Probably not right now, but he's got a bright future. He's going to be a very good player. And in fairness to both him and the team, it would be ideal for him to redshirt and get stronger and improve in a lot of the little things. So, as of today, that would be our next option if somebody were to get injured.
Is McKenzie coming along?
I don't know. I have no idea. I saw him, but didn't ask him anything about his injury yesterday. I'm sure he's making incremental improvements, and when somebody says he's ready to go, he's ready to go. We'll see what he can do, but I've literally not seen him practice one rep since he's been on our campus, so it's an enigma to me. But he'll be fine, whether it's this year or next year, we'll see.
Yeah, with him, is it kind of the case where you're getting 2-3 games in the season now where you start thinking about the red shirt if the injury does not improve as well?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't unless it was an absolute emergency, meaning that there weren't better options. If you lost a couple guys and he was ready to go, here in 5 or 6 games, been on teams where you've had to do that because that's what your options were. So that's not ideal, but cross that, bridge if and when we need to.
The ability to score touchdowns on defense,
Mm-hmm.
what does that say, maybe big picture, about the mentality that the group has?
Oh, I think just shows that we got some guys with good ball skill, awareness, know what to do with the football when they get it. Guys being sure of themselves, playing in an aggressive manner. Pressure up front, caused, one of those for sure. And Quanta does a really nice job. Good awareness by him, batting the little pop pass there that D-Rob got on his. So I just think it's a kind of a collective effort in regards to guys being sure of themselves and again playing in an attack mentality with an attack mentality.
Is that, that's obviously the effect, but what's the difference between maybe having just a solid defense that doesn't give up a bunch of yards versus that big play defense?
Well, I think it makes a huge difference in the game, obviously. And I don't know what, the measuring stick on it outside of when you're disruptive that way and you can, have a dramatic effect on the outcome of the game and get an offense out of the flow and score points. And, when you combine that with the style of offense we have, I think it's a pretty solid recipe. It's hard to maintain. That doesn't just happen. Those things don't, pick sixes don't fall out of the tree. But that being said, I would hope that the turnovers and the aggressive mentality are a byproduct of, again, both the players understanding what they're doing, having the right guys in the right position, and then again our guys playing in an aggressive manner.
Grady's been that top guy at DT.
Mm-hmm.
Through 2 games, you seen him make that jump as a player, or is he?
He was pretty good last year. If you said before the year, hey, if Grady shows up and he's just as good as he was, no better, no worse, would you take it? Absolutely. He's really good. He's a very good football player. And he brings all the intangibles, and then he brings the playmaking ability as well. Very disruptive. Is he better? Is he worse? I don't know. He looks like at least the same guy to me. And he's been really good. So he's hard to block, and he's just very sound, and he's where he's supposed to be. And whether or not, statistically speaking, it is reflective, I don't know. It really doesn't matter. A lot of those guys played very little, even on Saturday. So that's good for a lot of other guys, and on the stat sheet probably not as good for them, but so what? So it in the big picture, that really helps our football team, and in a lot of ways helps in the locker room with the morale. And you see a lot of people that play. They're playing these FCS teams. They're playing their starters through a solid 3 quarters. So whether they're keeping people out of the end zone or they have different kind of stats, that is reflective of who's out on the field. So, but Grady's been really good. Been really, really pleased with both his leadership, and I bet you he would say 2 games in a year ago he wasn't near where he is right now. And certainly not where he ended up last year. Like I said before, people ran the zone play, and it was like a trick play, So we've come a long way since Ball State a year ago.
How would you rate Travis and Roberts' efforts safety for the first 2 games? How do you feel like they've
Pretty solid, pretty solid. Consistent and always looking to get better. There's always, again, for every guy, there's nobody that's played a perfect 2 games. So there's things that were really good and things that were not so good, and things we got to get corrected. And those 2 guys are guys that take it personally, and very prideful young guys that work hard at their craft. So any of issues that have been there from a negative standpoint the first 2 games, they'll be the first ones in line to get them corrected.